Welcome to the Bennie Barre Pilates studio. Today I have for you a brief workout working on the Pilates spine corrector. We're going to begin sitting on the step of the barrel with the feet parallel, knees about hip distance apart, hands straight out from the shoulders. We'll go through one time slow. Scoop and hollow on that exhalation, coming into a C curve and then folding the spine over top of the barrel as you lengthen the arms up overhead. Exhale again as you peel up and come forward. Now stack up through the spine, lifting the shoulders right over top of the hips. And exhale as you C curve, reach beyond, frame the face with the arms. Inhale as you're lengthening there, and then exhale as you are rolling up. So we're really engaging through the core here, just like rolling back, the roll up, and we're expanding the back over top of that barrel. To keep the hands level, you could also include a dowel that you're holding onto, that dowel in between your hands. Focus right here on keeping the hands straight out from the shoulders. We will play with this exercise, taking our hands to different levels and feeling how the different placements of the arms really affect the core. Right now, as we stack up, we're going to take our arms out to a T. And now exhale, roll back through the spine, extend over top of the barrel, and exhale as you're rolling forward and stacking up tall through the spine, keeping those hands extended out to the side. Now, if this is too much of a strain and you find yourself unable to roll up out of that or move throughout this exercise with the arms extended, you could also keep your elbows wide and place your fingertips onto your shoulders. So you're still lengthening out to the side, but it becomes more challenging the wider we have our arms reaching out. Keep focused on the breath. We want to exhale through the exertion, which is where we roll back over the spine corrector. And then we'll inhale as we lengthen and unfold there, and exhale as we're rolling forward. Inhale as you stack up tall through the spine. So really think about the exhale happening through the exertion, through the work of the exercise. Now we're going to take the arms up to frame the face. They are lifting and reaching overhead. And they maintain there as we're rolling up and stacking up through the spine. Particularly in this position with the hands. As you exhale, tuck the chin and roll forward. Think about those fingertips reaching and pulling you up towards the ceiling. This definitely becomes challenging with the arms reaching here, but it can also help us to be aware of stacking up nice and tall through the spine. Next, we're going to move into a little play on the neck pull. So we're going to come forward one last time right here, stack up tall through the spine, and bring the hands behind the head, elbows wide. So I'll show it to you one time slow. We're going to fold forward, pull those elbows down over top of the knees. Now stack up tall through the spine, lengthen, and we're going to hinge back towards that barrel. When you start to feel your low back coming to the barrel, we'll C curve a little as we curve and round over top of it. Inhaling to prepare, and exhale, tuck the chin to chest and roll forward, C curving through the spine and tugging those elbows down towards the knees. Then stack up tall again. So adding in this hinge can be really challenging. We're going to try to keep that spine straight as we lower down and then finally form over top of that barrel. If you find that that hinge just isn't happening for you, go back to the C curve that we've been doing and you'll still find a challenge here with the hands behind the head and the elbows wide through that movement. Remember to keep breathing. Your breath work is so important, especially through these challenging places. And this can be really challenging for the abdominals here. Remember that just because this exercise on the mat is referred to as the neck pull, that doesn't mean that we should be tugging on the neck. We're just reaching, rounding forward, and then we're lengthening here and thinking about pulling that neck upward at the top. Keep those elbows as wide as you can through the rolling motion and form over top of the legs, and then stack up tall. If you're unable to do this exercise on the mat, you may find that you are quite capable of doing so on this apparatus, and that it's really helping you to be on the spine corrector with your legs bent. Next, we're going to move into some of our spinal exercises sitting on top of the barrel with the legs extended out. Beginning with the saw, legs are extended wide, further than the width of the mat. All right, so we begin twisting off towards the side, and we're going to think about taking our pinky finger beyond our pinky toe. The back hand twists up so that the palm is facing up towards the sky. Stack up through the spine, twist, and then reach. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, twist, reach. You could take a double pulse here if you like, or just a single reach. So if this one is ever challenging for you because you're tight through your lower back or tight through your hamstrings, it's going to feel really nice being elevated up on the apparatus right here, sitting up on the barrel. Ideally, we want to take our gaze back behind to look at our rear hand with the palm facing up. Next, we're moving into the spine stretch. We're going to walk our feet in and keep them flexed, heels pressing into the ground so the feet are about hip distance apart. We'll inhale to prepare, and then we'll exhale as we reach up and over, and then stack up tall on the inhalation through the spine, stacking one vertebrae at a time. Again, exhale as you reach up and over. This will be a lovely stretch through the low back and through the legs, especially when you're elevated here. So again, if you typically find that you need to bend your legs when performing this exercise on the mat or set up on a yoga block or something because of tightness through the hamstrings or low back, it's going to feel very freeing to try this sitting up on the spine corrector. Now we're going to walk those feet in and take the arms out to the side. Moving into the spine twist. We'll inhale to prepare. On the exhalation, we'll twist off to the right. Inhale, return. And then exhale as we twist off to the left. Inhale, return. So our hands are extended straight out. If you find this to be too much, you can bring the palms up onto the shoulders and just have the elbows reaching out. Now right here, we want to make sure that we're zipped up tight through the legs, and we especially want to focus on no shifting through the feet, the ankles, or through the hips. We want all of that to stay steady, and the entire movement is coming through the torso here as we literally twist through the spine. So you'll know that your hips are moving and shifting if your feet are shifting beyond each other. When you twist off to the side, one is shifting. You want to think about keeping the ankles strapped down and the hips strapped down. We'll return now to sitting on this step of the barrel. The feet are about hip distance apart, and we're going to move into the abdominal curls on the oblique. So we're going to wrap around that barrel there with the hands behind the head, elbows wide, and we'll peel off one shoulder blade at a time as we reach out and off to the side. We're going to think about taking that elbow towards the outside of the knee, even though we're not coming close to touching that. This feels like a curl through the abdominal, but we're getting into the obliques and twisting off to the side. This exercise creates a strong, supple spine and strengthens the oblique abdominals. We'll exhale each time that we reach and twist, and then return. Now we're going to add in a knee. So we're going to take that opposite knee and think about taking that elbow slightly beyond it with the twist. We'll lift up that knee into tabletop and then twist to the other side. So again, make sure that it's the opposite side. Your left elbow reaches beyond the right knee. Next, we're going to place the hands down towards the barrel, and we're going to float the legs up into tabletop and extend the legs out straight. Moving into hip twist, we're going to twist the legs off to the right, circle around and up to the left. Pause here at the top and reverse, twisting off to the left, circling down, around and up, and back up straight. If this exercise feels too challenging with straight legs, you can add a bend at the knees. Focus here on a steady flow of breath. Finding that area in the circle that's the most challenging for you, really use your exhale to press through that, and inhale at the places where you're recovering. Remember here that we're using muscular control and stability rather than momentum, so make sure that you stop at the top and switch directions, and that you're not just using momentum to swing your legs around. We're moving next into the can-can, so bend into the legs and tap the toes down. We're going to take the knees to the right, to the left, to the right. Now hold there, extend the legs straight, and bend back in. To the left, to the right, to the left. Extend straight, bend back in, tap those toes back down. So we're moving in threes. We're going right, extend, bend back in, and then left, left. 3 switches of the legs, hold off to the side and extend out. You can feel your core and your hip flexors really working here as you extend those legs and draw back in, and use that control as you switch from side to side. And this is your last one right here. Tap the toes in, and we're going to go ahead and stretch back. Lengthen the back, the spine over top of the barrel. Extend the arms out to frame the face. And finally, extend the legs out long and straight if that is comfortable for you. Breathing in deeply. And lifting up. Next, we're going to move into some bridging work. So we're going to come lying on the mat behind the spine corrector with the feet up on the barrel. We want our feet to be parallel, our knees about hip distance apart, our toes facing forward. Inhale to prepare, and on the exhale we'll press the low back into the mat and peel the spine up 1 vertebrae at a time, with a quick inhale at the top, and then an exhale as we roll down 1 vertebrae at a time. We're really getting into some deep articulation of the spine right here, and we want to think about moving 1 vertebrae at a time. We peel up 1 vertebrae at a time, and then we melt back down with control 1 vertebrae at a time. There is no instance here of thrusting the hips forward and then letting them drop back down to the mat. We are articulating through that spine. I like to imagine here for imagery that you're lifting up a string of pearls, grabbing 1 pearl and lifting it up off of the table. 1 at a time, it comes up and in line. And then when you lower it back down, it lowers down 1 pearl at a time. That's exactly what's happening with the vertebrae of our spine. Also be mindful of the rest of the body here. Make sure that you're not holding any tension in the upper body. The chest shouldn't be lifting, the head and neck shouldn't be moving. Keep the chin tucked slightly forward, gaze forward so that you're not looking straight up at the ceiling or back behind you, putting tension in the neck. Also, we want to think about keeping the shoulders rolled down and back and not scrunching up towards the ears. Think about reaching the arms long, fingertips pointing towards the spine corrector. Now pull those knees in towards the chest and give yourself a little rock from side to side, a little self-massage of the spine. Next, we're going to move into push-ups, placing the hands on the barrel and bringing your body into a nice straight line plank. We're going to take 1 push-up and then lift the hips backward to a pike position. Then come back forward and push up again, drawing in the abdominals as we reach back into the pike. Remember to use that breath through the difficult and challenging movements and not hold the breath. Working the push-up on the spine corrector can be quite challenging. Even though we are elevated, we're also keeping the hands very narrow because of the width of that spine corrector unit. Just finishing up, now we're going to go into a stretch. Press those heels down towards the mat and try to walk your legs up, keeping as straight as possible. Just press into the hands and lean your body towards the legs, and then slowly inch up, trying to keep the legs nice and straight and getting a nice stretch through the back of the legs. And finally inching up until the toes meet the barrel of the spine corrector and just folding forward here. Nice deep breaths. And finally lift up that spine and reach the hands towards the sky and bring back down. Thank you so much for joining me in the Bennie Barre Pilates studio, and let me know if you would like to see more workouts on the Pilates spine corrector. You can join me on Patreon for Mat Pilates, Barre, Springboard Pilates, and more to come if you would like to take weekly classes with me. All that information is in the write-up below.